Hello guys, we're going to look at creating a chessboard that will be engraved on your pine wood or on your laser ply for your games compendium. First of all, you need to double check that you have for your design stated that you'll be doing storage for traditional games, including chess pieces, for you to do this on your work, otherwise it will make no sense being part of your project. So supposing you are doing the chessboard, I want you to open Adobe Illustrator. So you go to Adobe Design Premium and down to Illustrator to find it. It can take quite a while to load. It is a big program, so bear with it, don't keep clicking on it. Okay, you should get this page open up and it will be blank. I want you to go to File, New, and then when it pops up, can you check that it's set to A3 and landscape, then click OK. Save this into your technology folder as something that you will remember, preferably chessboard, perhaps with your name next to it if you are wanting to send it to me later. Leave the settings on this and click OK. Okay, go to the rectangle tool and left click on the page. It will then give you the options to change the sizes. So we want 10 millimeters by 10 millimeters, and it will come up with a perfect square for you. You want the black selection tool to be able to click on it, move it around. Okay, so first I want you to select it using the black selection tool, then go to Object, Transform, and Move. Okay, move this over to the side and then look at the horizontal settings. That is going to the left and the right. If you change the millimeters to 10 and click copy, you'll see it stands right next to the one you've just done. We don't want that. We want to leave a gap for the other person's pieces, and it will leave a space. So you want 20 on the horizontal side. Okay, so a chessboard is 8 squares by 8 squares. What you'll see is here we've actually got too many spaces. You want to have 4 squares with the gaps in between them. If you need to get rid of something or undo, hold down the Control key and press Z, or you can right click and delete. Select all of the squares you've done, and this time we're going to move them vertical, so we're going to create the row below. What you'll see is I've got -10, which will put them underneath the ones we've just done. Horizontal 20, we'll move them 2 spaces over and they'll end up underneath each other. You don't want that. You want them to be in the gaps. So undo. Horizontal by 10 so that it fits into the gaps, and vertical by -10 so it's underneath. You end up with them in the right spaces and it'll be 8 squares long. If you press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V like on PowerPoint, you will be able to copy and paste anything that's selected. When you go to move stuff in Illustrator, you have to have the whole of it selected to be able to move it. Again, it's exactly like in PowerPoint. You've got to have everything selected to move it, otherwise it'll just move a part. So select the whole lot and move it. You should see these little green lines appear that click it into position. That shows you that it is lined up properly without any gaps. So instead of doing right click or Ctrl C, Ctrl V, you can go to edit and copy and edit paste. So here you'll see we've got 8 squares down and 8 squares across. That is your chessboard finished. What you can now do is add borders around the outside, and you can essentially draw any border you want. Okay, so I'm going to draw just around the outside of the shapes. Make sure there's no fill. And I'm actually going to scale that bigger. So object, transform and scale. Now if you see here, if I put 5%, it actually shrinks it down to really, really tiny. So if I show you 10%, you can see it's shrunk down to 10% of its original size. You don't want that, you want it to be bigger than your chessboard. So I'm going to scale it to something bigger than 100. You'll see it leaves a gap around the outside of your chessboard as a little border. Okay, I'm going to insert a second line around the outside, doing the same method. So 105%, but this time I'm going to copy it. So now I've got these 2 borders around the outside. Make sure you've saved that into your area, and then I can get to engrave it on your work.